Hey, what's going on, guys? VT here, and I have another first impressions video for you. This time it's Crysis 3. Yesterday was Dust 514, and I'm just rolling. I'm rolling on videos right now. Sadly, if you'll notice, yesterday's video starts at 40 seconds, and I apologize for that. Some bogus copyright thing about some Chinese, I don't even know, it's not even related to Dust, but I can't get it off, so just deal with it. It's 40 seconds you're missing, you're not missing much. But let's get into this Crysis 3 beta. You're seeing a lot of gameplay for it right now. I was able to play a few rounds before I got this first impressions up, because they're a little shorter. There's two game modes that you can play. You can play Hunter or Crash Site, and both are a lot of fun. Hunter is very interesting. It's a lot like Search and Destroy of Call of Duty, but not really, I guess. It's I'll get to it in a second, because first I want to talk about Crash Site. Crash Site is essentially capture and hold, or headquarters if you're used to the Call of Duty, where you run around. There's different sites, and it's like, or King of the Hill even, different sites you have to hold for a while, and then it moves, and that's the general. That's really as basic as it gets. Like, you go to an area, it sits there for about, I don't know, a minute or two, and you move to a new crash site, and it goes on for a few minutes, and the matches are a few minutes long, and it's very fast paced. For the most part, you can kind of take some time. It's not so fast paced where you actually have opportunities to really, if you're in a squad or something, like team up and kind of move around. It's not like, oh, it's too crazy. It is nice where you have that option of teamwork, really, which is really essential in a lot of first-person shooters, but especially in Crash Site, to really hold these things against another good team. You really got to work together. But the other, Hunter though, that game mode is a lot of teamwork. Holy shit! All right, so basically, there's two factions in Hunter, and you get auto-assigned which one it is. It's like the military. I don't really know the backstory to Crysis 3 at all. I never played Crysis 1 or 2. Played the beta for number 2, which was okay. This one, Crysis 3 is definitely improved on it. I'll get to that again in a little bit. But so Hunter mode is two factions. You have the Hunters, which are the guys in the nano suits, and like the other guys, which are fucked. Really, they're fucked. It's at a map, and you go off, and all of the militia guys basically just need to stay alive. When all of them die, the round is over, and rounds are 2 minutes long, and there's 5 rounds in a match. So you start off as either faction, and it switches depending on the rounds. I'm not really sure how it switches, because during my round I played as like the militia guys, like 4 out of 5 rounds, and then it switched half round for me after I died. I don't know, it's weird. But you only get 1 life as the militia guys, and you get as many lives as you want, as far as I could tell, for the Hunters. And you get limited ammo for the militias, and Hunters have, their bows, and they're invisible, and they're super strong, and it's going down. Like, as soon as we started off, I was like, oh shit, I don't know what this game mode is, but it was like, stay alive. I was like, well, I'm fucked. But it was a lot of fun. You'll see in this video, like, it's so hard to see them. Like, at least for me it was for the first few times, and obviously there's some EMP grenades that you can use that help, but really, like, it's tough, and you really have to work together, and the other team whooped our ass in the second or third round, whatever one it was. It's tricky, but it's a lot of fun. Definitely great with a squad. Definitely great, but by far I think my favorite game mode was Crash Site. It was a little more involved. There were longer matches. You got to earn a little more XP, in my opinion, and it's a little less stressful, because I get worked up and shit like that. Like, I'd be sitting there, my heart start racing, like, oh hell, but just not for me, I guess. But it's a blast. If I was playing with a squad, I'd be playing that shit every night, like me and my buddies in KIZ used to do for Search and Destroy and Black Ops. But that's besides the point. So let's talk a little bit more about, not so much about the game modes, but just about how it works. Basically, Crysis 3, this is the multiplayer beta, and you start off in the main menu, and it's very nice. There's some calming music in the background, but it's that music kind of gets you pumped up. It's like, oh, something's coming big, but it never quite gets there, which is really nice. I like that, just kind of low-key menu music, but you can really feel it. It's got a lot of bass and stuff. The soundtracks are actually really cool in the beta, which I really hope they carry through the full game, because capturing the whole ambiance is really sweet, actually. And so you have this main menu, and you can pick, like, you can customize your controls a little bit. There's a few options, and You know, there's like quick match, private match, but that's pretty much, there's some customization, but you have to get to level 5 before you can actually create your own class, which is you know, typical for the most part. Beta, as far as I can tell, it doesn't let you customize like your player profile. That was just grayed out. You'll see me go to it multiple times in this video probably. It's grayed out, which kind of sucks, but you can unlock new dog tags as you go across. It's got that Crysis 2, Battlefield 3 theme in there, the dog tag thing, based on your different feats. There's also challenges, which I'm pretty sure they took from Battlefield 3, which is a great idea. I think every first-person shooter should have that. Add a little something extra to it. You know, get so many kills after you've uncloaked or something. And it's just kind of nice, keeps you playing. As far as the customization, you can pick a main gun, sub gun. You get to pick an explosive, is really what the class is, which goes anywhere from an EMP grenade to an RPG launcher, which is really cool too. And of course, you start off with 4 basic classes that kind of hand out all of those. You get to pick 3 skills, and this classes all start off with 3, but obviously you have to unlock them. And there's skills like, okay, your armor automatically turns on when you hit a certain amount of health, which is really helpful. Another one I really liked, and I'm terrible at sniping, so this is really cool. And you'll see me snipe. I'm really bad. But it highlights people, highlights enemies when you scope, which is, I think it's sweet. I'm not sure if it works if they're cloaked. I imagine it might. But it's really cool. There's just a few cool things like that, like those extra skills that are based off of using the nanosuit, which is really unique to Crysis 3, which I think is really awesome. From what I can remember, like I said, I didn't play a lot of Crysis 2. I think it kind of flopped on the consoles. I may be wrong. But it was sort of, you know, it was the first game in the series that came to the consoles, and they had to figure a few things out. But there's a little less superpowers directly. Now, mind that, directly, like nanosuit powers in Crysis 3. You get an insane jump, and you get a ground smash, which is really cool. I want to use it on someone. You also get armor mode and a stealth mode, which makes you go invisible, and it's actually pretty invisible. And armor is pretty hefty. I don't think there are any other ones, like powers, like there was a slow time in Crysis 2 from what I remember, and you know, some other stuff, something like that. But I don't think there's really a lot of that in Crysis 3. Like I said, just a beta, I haven't unlocked a whole lot of shit yet. There might be. But a lot of the powers really come with the skills that you get to pick, the different attributes that you get to enhance upon and everything, which is really nice. Really makes it, you know, you can make your character your own. The guns in this were really cool. I felt they were, I don't want to say realistic, because Crysis is not like a realistic game as we think of realism, but it's very like physics driven. It's very nice. You get to bend physics, you can tell, in your nanosuit, which is really cool. But you know, the guns have recoil, they've got weight to them. I read in the tips that if you add attachments to your gun, so there's more customization right there, it'll add weight, so it'll be harder to switch, like slower to switch weapons to, and I really like that. You know, it really makes you think about how you're playing the game. Like, you want to play really fast, well, you don't want many attachments, you know. That's just a little extra, going the extra mile, which I think is really cool. I really like that. The game looks good, like, that's a surprise. You know, Crysis, the CryEngine 3, fucking awesome over here, which, whatever, I don't need to go much into that. It looks good. Lighting effects are pretty awesome, especially for beta. A few of the water effects could use some improvement, I guess, if I'm getting nitpicky, but it looks a lot better than a lot of the games that have already been released. And it runs pretty smooth, too. I didn't get hardly any tearing or frame rate drops, and there really wasn't much lag online either. You know, there's some weird physics things going on with throwing shit, but other than that, like, it played pretty smooth, which I was actually kind of surprised, because I remember the Crysis 2 beta was not smooth at all. So they've really improved that. What else is there to talk about? That's pretty much sums it up, I suppose. Game modes are both fun. The maps. There's 2 maps you can play on: Museum and the Airport, which are both not really museums or airports. They're all broken down and run down to hell. Airport's crashed and there's moss growing everywhere, and the museum's flooded as shit. But they're two. I can tell that they wanted to show off their shit, because they're 2 very different maps. You know, they're both kind of close quarters. Crysis is more of it's not so much a huge map Battlefield game. it's more of a Call of Duty type, kind of close quarters game in that middle range, I suppose, because there's tons of different paths you can take. You get the super jump, so you can go from balcony to balcony. That's really cool. But the museum is very dark, and you've seen that already. And the airport was really light, and you can see the game looks really good in both of them. The HUD, I gotta say, is a little obnoxious. I get it fits with the futuristic thing, and you can get used to it. I just wish it was a little more clear. So there's a lot of little ticks going on and shit, and sometimes I don't really know where to look for my energy and stuff, or my health, Like, it's not as clear as it could be for being futuristic. I think some games, when they try and go futuristic like that, they kind of miss the bar there. They're like, oh, let's make this awesome. Then you realize, like, you don't know what you did. You're just looking at a bunch of bars and lines and shit and numbers, and you're like, okay, great. Well, at least you can tell how much ammo I have, I suppose. Yeah. Like, there are pickups throughout the levels, really. You can see me grab, like, random guns, and so you get, like, a base set of guns, and then you get more powerful weapons that are spawned randomly throughout the course, which are really cool. Once you pick them up, and you can toss them away, and you still have your other weapon with you, but once they're out of ammo, they're out of ammo, so it's not like you hold on to it forever, which I think is a great balance for that. You can't really run around picking up more ammo. I mean, if you held on to it for long enough, you probably could, but it is what it is. You're probably going to use it up pretty quick and then discard it to actually get your weapon up so you can stay alive longer. But I think the game flows really well. I think it's pretty smooth. It's fun. It's addictive. I think it'd be great with a squad. I can't tell you about voice quality. I wish I could, but maybe on a podcast I'll make a mention about that if I get to play with some of my buddies. Shout out to Kamikazes. But yeah, so I really like it. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it just came out yesterday, so download it and play it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Otherwise, I got some more gameplay going on for a few minutes after this commentary, so you can hear some of the sounds and everything. They are pretty good. The guns sound not like pea shooters. And one thing I do really want to talk about before I go. The game talks to you, which is really cool. There are, at least, in both modes, Hunter and Crash Site. Hunter's hilarious. You're playing the Hunter, and, like, guys are flipping shit. They're like, oh my god, we shouldn't be here. Like, we're all fucked. And, like, yep, we are. We are fucked. So that's really funny. And you can hear them, like, getting closer and shit. Like, you can hear the Hunters, like, stepping closer. And it's like, oh god, I'm gonna die. Which is awesome. It'd be great with some surround sound headsets if it supports that, which I hope it does. I'll have to try that and get back to you guys. But for Crash Site, like, the announcer, and this kind of reminds me just of Killzone and Battlefield 3 a little bit. Battlefield 3 was just more of a, like, oh, we're screwed. But this Crysis 3 and Crash Site was like, okay, don't go up this path because it's flooded with enemies. It's like, okay, let's go around. And, like, it's really cool things like that. It's like, oh shit, watch out. They have an incinerator, which is a flamethrower. It's like, oh, damn, not go that way. I want to go around. Which I did multiple times. So if you listen to that, it really helps you out, which is, I think, a really cool feature. It's interactive. It happens almost instantly. It updates you what's going on the map. If there's a lot of people in one area, or if we're getting rocked in one area, either way, or just general what's going on. It's really cool. It talks to you, helps you out. It's really a nice war battle feel. It really is. It captures that whole thing. Finally, though, at the end of a match, which I think is by far the coolest thing in any first-person shooter I have ever seen. So listen up. Again, the coolest thing I have ever seen in any first-person shooter I have ever played to date. I think it's really awesome. It's, it may not be awesome to you, but it's sweet. At the end of a match, it shows you highlights of your game, at least in Crash Site. Yeah, highlights. It's like, oh, you rocked ass right here. Here you go. You can view that. Like, instant montage. Hello. It's sweet, It shows you, okay, you may have got rocked, but you still did some cool things. You got a no-scope headshot randomly here. You took out 3 guys all of a sudden. Like, it's really cool. And that's just, it makes you feel good at the end of the round. It makes you want to play more, which is the point of a multiplayer online game. And so I think they really capture it. I think this game is going to sell really well. I'm actually thinking about picking it up, even though I didn't grab Crysis 2. Story seems interesting too. Like, the whole gameplay is just, it's really fun. So I would keep an eye out for it. If you pre-order, you get some bonuses. You'll see, there's a trailer on it. I might throw that in here too. Why not, right? So yeah, pre-order. I think this game is going to do really well. If you're not sure about it, obviously, download the beta. It's out on PS3, and I believe it's also out on Xbox 360, if I'm not mistaken. So check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.